What if I told you? Cameron regrets dissing Nas and once erased the Jay-Z verse out of spite. This is the story of beefs, regrets, and reconciliations that rocked Cameron's career. Let's get into it. First off, let's start with the beef between Cameron and Nas. Cameron sat down with the Rap Radar podcast and shared his thoughts on the feud. And let me tell you, it's a wild one. This beef dates all the way back to 2002, a time when tensions were high and diss tracks were flying left and right. Cameron expressed his admiration for Nas, calling himself a big fan. However, the beef started when Nas dissed Cameron out of nowhere. Cameron said, "I'm a real big Nas fan. What happened was, Nas just dissed me for no reason. What did he diss us for? We didn't even do nothing to him. He was more mad at Hot 97. Alright, now let's take a moment to unpack this. Imagine being a fan to somebody and then getting dissed by them out of the blue. That's gotta sting. Cameron was caught all the way off guard, and it sparked a series of events that would escalate into a full-blown beef. According to Complex, the beef started because Nas called Cameron's album whack during an interview with Power 105.1. Cameron noted that Nas was more upset with Hot 97 because they wouldn't let him lynch a Jay-Z doll at the Summer Jam event. Instead, Nas went to Power 105.1 and unleashed his frustration with Cameron getting caught in the crossfire. Cameron responded with multiple diss tracks, but now, years later, he looks back and feels he might have overreacted. On the Rap Radar podcast, Cameron said, "There's some things that I found out about afterward that I probably wouldn't have said if I knew. Do I regret it? Yeah, because I didn't want to go that far." This kind of reflection is unique in the rap game, where pride and bravado often overshadow logic. Now let's pause right here for a second. Cameron's willingness to admit his mistakes and express regret shows a level of maturity that's often missing in hip-hop beefs. It's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment, but looking back and acknowledging that things could have been handled differently is commendable. Cameron's reflections give us a unique insight into the mind of an artist who was in the thick of one of hip-hop's most talked about feuds. But this isn't just about Cameron and Nas. It's about the culture of beef in hip-hop and how it shapes the music and the artists involved. The beef with Nas wasn't the only major feud in Cameron's career. On the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, Cameron discussed how he and Jay-Z quietly settled their differences after years of tension. Cam was asked about a remix of his 2002 song "Oh Boy" featuring Jay-Z that never saw the light of day. Cameron said, "Jay did a remix for Oh Boy, and I erased it. When asked why he didn't keep the verse, he responded by saying, I should have. Looking back on it, I should have because I could have made some money." This right here is a prime example of how petty disputes can sometimes overshadow potential collaboration and success. Cameron explained that Jay had erased his verse from the song "One for Petey Crack," so he felt justified in doing the same thing. Cameron said, "I was just so caught up. I'm very, very petty, man." Reflecting on it now, he realizes that keeping the verse, even if it wasn't released, would have been a smart move. This level of pettiness, while entertaining, often leads to missed opportunities and prolonged conflicts. Cameron and Jay-Z eventually managed to team up again for a concert, marking the first time they spoke in years. Jay brought out Cameron during a show at New York City's Terminal 5 in 2019, surprising the audience with a performance of "Welcome to New York City." This moment was a huge shock to fans because it signaled a possible reconciliation between the two of them. Cameron shared that when Jay-Z called to invite him to the concert, he didn't hesitate to accept, despite their past issues. Cam said, "Jay called. He's like, yo, first of all, I want to tell you, I got respect for you." And I'm like, "Same here, bro." This conversation marked a turning point in their relationship as they put their differences aside and focused on their mutual respect and admiration. It's great to see how these artists navigate their relationships over the years. From intense feuds to quiet reconciliations, the dynamics within the hip-hop community are constantly evolving. Cam'ron's story with Jay-Z highlights the complexities of these relationships and the importance of communication and respect. Speaking of beefs, let's not forget about Cam'ron's beef with Mase back in the day. Years ago, on a Thanksgiving weekend at that, Cam'ron and Mase reignited their old beef and traded diss tracks back and forth. Mase dropped the Oracle, and Cam'ron responded with Dinner Time. This feud dates back decades, with both artists having a storied history together. Mase and Cam'ron's relationship goes all the way back to their high school days, where they played basketball together and formed the group Children of the Corn with Big L. Despite their shared history, their relationship has been toxic, with multiple public spats over the years. In 1998, Cam'ron used a body double for Mase in his horse and carriage video after Mase demanded $40,000 to appear in a clip. This incident was just one of many that fueled their beef. In 2004, Mase retired from rap to become a pastor, a move that many speculated was a result of an ongoing beef with Harlem street dude Baby Mane. However, Mase's retirement didn't mark the end of his feud with Cam'ron. The two continued to take shots at each other over the years, with Cam'ron dissing Mase on tracks like Take 'Em to Church from his Purple Haze album. Their beef reignited in 2017 when Cam'ron released the mixtape The Program, featuring the track It's Killer, where he took shots at Mase. In response, Mase dropped the Oracle, addressing years of controversy and putting forth some strong allegations against Cam'ron. Cam'ron quickly fired back with Dinner Time, and the two continued to exchange jabs on social media. Despite their long history of beef, both Cam'ron and Mase have had moments of reflection and reconciliation. Cam'ron acknowledged in interviews that he regrets some of the things he said about Mase and recognizes the impact their feud has had on their careers and personal lives. It's clear that the rap game is filled with complex relationships, and these feuds often shape the artist's paths in significant ways. Thankfully, Cam'ron and Mase are once again brothers, and arguably have the best podcast in the game right now with the It Is What It Is podcast. Let's switch gears for a moment though, and talk about how Cam'ron has navigated the music industry. One of the most interesting things about his career is his recognition of the crooked nature of the music business and his decision to diversify his portfolio. Cam'ron saw firsthand just how exploitative the industry could be, with artists often getting taken advantage of through unfair contracts and limited control over your work. Instead of becoming a victim, Cam'ron took control of his own destiny by branching out into various industries. This move wasn't just about making money. It was about creating a sustainable and fair way to build wealth. By diversifying his portfolio, Cam'ron set a powerful example for other artists, proving that they could thrive without being at the mercy of the industry's traditional gatekeepers. Cam'ron's hustler mentality led him to explore opportunities in film, sports management, and even fashion. His brand Dipset USA became a cultural phenomenon, influencing streetwear and hip-hop fashion. Cam'ron's ability to spot opportunities and turn them into successful businesses has ensured his relevance long after he stepped away from the mic. So what do y'all think about Cam'ron's reflections on his beef with Nas? Do you think he handled it the right way? And what about his reconciliation with Jay-Z? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Now remember how I just told you about Cam'ron and Mase's prior beef and their eventual reconciliation? Well, Mase had a few things to say about that. Mase once said that flexing too much is what really caused the drama between him and Cam'ron. Click the video on the screen to find out what he really meant by that. And make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be notified every time I post. Peace.